Argentina did not win football's biggest prizes by controlling every match. It won by controlling the moments that decided them. That sounds impossible for a country raised on the ball, the dribble, the number 10, and the demand to play beautifully. Yet the team that finally ended decades of pressure often looked most dangerous when the game became uncomfortable. They could suffer without panicking, defend without losing belief, and strike without needing to own the entire night. So how did Argentina turn a generation defined by almost into a team built for the decisive moment? The answer is not that they stopped playing football. The answer is that they stopped believing domination was the only proof of superiority. For years, Argentina carried a burden. A nation with Messi, talent everywhere, and expectations so heavy that every draw felt like failure. They reached the 2014 World Cup final, then lost Copa America finals in 2015 and 2016 on penalties. The image was painful. A gifted team close enough to touch history, but never calm enough to take it home. Every tournament seemed to demand more beauty, more possession, more proof that Argentina deserved to win. And when the game became messy, the old Argentina often looked trapped by its own expectations. Lionel Scaloni inherited that emotional weight before he inherited a settled tactical plan. He was not appointed as a manager with a finished blueprint. He built trust through details, conversations, and shared responsibility. His most important decision was psychological before it was tactical. Argentina would no longer need one perfect identity for every opponent. They would need several solutions, and the humility to use whichever one the match demanded. That shift appeared clearly at Copa America 2021 in Brazil. Argentina arrived carrying a 28-year major trophy drought, with every old scar following them into every stadium. They did not glide through the tournament without resistance. Chile drew with them. Colombia pushed them to penalties in the semi-final. But Argentina kept moving, even when the performance was incomplete. Then came Brazil at the Maracanã, the biggest stage for a final. Argentina did not turn it into a celebration of possession. They turned it into a test of nerve. Angel Di Maria scored in the 22nd minute, lifting the ball over Ederson after a timed run. From there, Argentina defended the lead with discipline, duels, and calm. The trophy mattered because it broke the drought. But the method mattered because it changed the team's memory. They learned that a final does not ask who plays the prettiest football for 90 minutes. It asks who reads the danger, absorbs the pain, and takes the one chance that changes the story. But that was only the beginning. The World Cup would test whether this new calm could survive disaster. In Qatar, Argentina's first match against Saudi Arabia became a shock that could have reopened every old wound. They lost 2-1 after taking the lead, and suddenly the favorites looked fragile again. A more stubborn team might have doubled down on its original plan. A more anxious team might have torn itself apart. Scaloni did neither. He changed personnel, adjusted structures, and made the next game simpler. Against Mexico, Argentina were tense for long periods, unable to force the match open through sheer possession. And Messi found the space for a low strike, and the pressure cracked. The goal mattered. But the response mattered more. Argentina did not need a perfect first hour to win. They needed one clear action, and the discipline to protect its meaning. That became the rhythm of their tournament. Adapt, survive, choose the right moment, and attack with conviction. Their midfield was central to it all. Rodrigo de Paul ran, pressed, covered, and connected the emotional energy of the team. Enzo Fernandez brought composure and range. Alexis McAllister brought intelligence between lines. Julian Alvarez brought relentless movement. Together, they made Messi's freedom possible without making Messi responsible for everything. This was another hidden change. Argentina had not become less dependent on Messi's genius. They had become less dependent on Messi, having to rescue every phase of every match. FIFA's later tactical analysis highlighted their close support around the ball. with players reducing distances to create passing options and immediate counter-pressing. That is why their football was more flexible than it first appeared. Sometimes Argentina used close combinations to slow the game and keep it safe. Sometimes they stretched the pitch, moved opponents toward one side, and attacked the space left behind. Sometimes they pressed high. Sometimes they dropped deep. The shape could change, but the relationships stayed strong. The quarterfinal against the Netherlands showed both the power and the risk of this approach. Argentina built a 2-goal lead, then watched it disappear under late Dutch pressure. The old story was waiting to return. Another collapse, another gifted generation frozen by its past. Instead, Argentina went to penalties and survived. Emiliano Martinez became the face of their new defiance. They did not escape because they were flawless. They escaped because they could recover from chaos without losing their identity. What happened next made the lesson even clearer. Against Croatia in the semifinal, Argentina had less possession, fewer attacks into the area, and still won 3-0. They could not always break Croatia's block early, so they attacked directly when Julian Alvarez found the space behind. One penalty, one fast transition, and another moment of Messi brilliance turned control into a scoreboard. After taking the lead, Argentina defended deeper and attacked the spaces Croatia left behind. That was winning without dominating in its purest form. Not passive, not lucky, but ruthlessly accurate. The final against France was even more extreme. Argentina were brilliant for long stretches, then almost lost everything in a storm of French goals. They had to score again in extra time. They had to survive again in the shootout. And when Gonzalo Montiel's penalty crossed the line, the lesson was complete. Champions are not the team that never lose control. Champions are the team that know what to do when control disappears. That is why the 2024 Copa America mattered so much. Winning once can be a peak. Winning again tells you whether the system has become culture. In the final against Colombia, Argentina lost Messi to injury in the second half. For an older Argentina, that moment might have felt like the end of the script. Instead, the team absorbed Colombia's pressure, stayed alive, and continued to compete. Then, in extra time, Lautaro Martinez came off the bench and scored in the 112th minute. The goal was not only a winner, it was evidence. Argentina had built a team where the biggest moment could belong to whoever was ready, not only to the biggest name. That is the real transformation under Scaloni. He did not ask Argentina to abandon technique, ambition, or possession. He asked them to value compactness, sacrifice, transition, game management, and emotional control just as highly. He built a side comfortable with different kinds of victories. A side that could dominate Poland through structure, outlast the Netherlands through nerve, punish Croatia through transition, and endure Colombia without Messi. This is why calling Argentina defensive, pragmatic, or lucky misses the point. Their strength was not choosing one of those labels. Their strength was refusing to be limited by any one label. They understood that possession is a tool, not a moral virtue. They understood that a beautiful move and an ugly clearance can carry the same value when a final is on the line. Most importantly, they learned that collective belief is not built when everything goes according to plan. It is built when the plan fails, the stadium turns, and 11 players still know where to look. Argentina did not become winners by dominating every opponent. They became winners by dominating their own fear, their own tempo, and the moments that football refuses to script. And that may be the hardest kind of dominance there is. Do you think the greatest international teams should control the ball, or simply control the moments that decide trophies?